Basement Collective, we are here with a much-awaited battle report, and we have something special for you today, Irvin. We have, I guess not for you.
Not for me.
It's for the crew.
For them.
The basement dwellers.
The basement dwellers.
Alright guys, we have the first ever battle report on this channel from the game Freeblades, which is a game by DGS. Stay tuned, and we'll talk more about that.
Hey Basement Collective fans, again, thank you very much for checking out another Basement Collective video. We are glad to be doing another video. We're trying our best. We just got over tournament, probably a month of tournament. We had to prepare for our own major here, which was successful.
It was
you can go check out a video. And then the week after that, we have another major we went to in Buffalo.
Both we have videos up for.
Both we have videos. Make sure you go check them out. But again, as Kevin said in the intro, today we are playing a game of Freeblades. A game put on DGS. Sorry, a game put on by DGS Games.
Yeah.
Good friends of the channel, and we're excited to play. A few quick warnings before we play. Number one, we are still very new to this game.
Although we are playing, we have a weekly game night devoted to it.
Yeah,
now.
we have every Tuesday.
It's awesome.
We got 4 people into the game, which is it's a smaller skirmish game. So we don't know the rules all the best.
But
so
I think we got a good handle on it.
Hopefully. So if you have any questions, make sure to let us know. If you are an experienced Freeblades player, if we make any rules, definitely
let us know for
and
sure.
make any rules mistakes, definitely let us know in the comments below. As well, check the comments below for the DGS Facebook page, as well as their player group, because they have a pretty active player group. If you have any questions, you can always ask them there, as well as the website. So,
real briefly, what Freeblades is it is a fantasy skirmish game, as you'll see from the board in a second. And what sets it apart from most games, what really caught my interest 2 years ago at Adepticon with the game, is the fact that it uses an exploding die system and also an expanding die system. What that means is you don't use a D6 like you would for normal miniature war games, like the miniature war games we're used to. You actually use a D4 all the way up to a D30, and then in each, like, he goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, and then you get its interest on 14, 16, 18. So in increments of 2, it goes up. And then it has a thing called spiking. So whenever you take a test and you roll the maximum on a dice, or a 6 on a D6 or a 10 on a D10, you add that number, but then you roll again and you keep on going if you keep on spiking. And so eventually you can get these large numbers if you get really lucky. It's awesome, and I'm super excited to play it. It is an RPG style miniature game.
yeah, so it's there is a tournament setting where you can play 1-on-1, 1v1, which you're doing today, but the game is designed also for a campaign style. So you campaign, you build your characters up, you increase their die levels of attacks, you increase their die levels for the discipline, you give them gear and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's made for RPG players as well as tournament players alike. Today we are playing a 150 point game, and what's good about the 150 point bracket is each starter box they sell,
Which is only like 35 bucks.
which is 35 US, so like 400 Canadian. Each starter box they sell is 150 gold, that they call it, not points, gold. And you create gold out of free bands. You create your free band out of gold, I should say.
Yeah, it's like your currency.
Yeah.
Instead of points, it's gold.
And other than that, the models are $7 to the biggest models $20. And you
$6.50 to $20.
but the prices are going up probably by the time this video comes around. Maybe a bit after. So if you want to go to the website, keep buying some cheaper models right now, but they are still probably one of the cheapest models in the business.
Yeah, and they're awesome looking. All right, let's take a look at the armies, Irvin, and then we'll go from there.
Perfect.
All right, Basement Collective, and here is the starter box. 150 points for the faction called the Traazorites. These guys are essentially Romans riding dinosaurs. Actually, in Adepticon 2 years ago, John Cleves, who is the owner and the creator of DGS Games, and along with that, Freeblades, did a demo for us, and he's like, guys, these are Romans riding dinosaurs. At that point, I was sold. Anyways, these are the Traazorites. This is what comes in your starter box. To start off, you have a Keshark, a mounted Keshark, who is the leader of your group. For those who's not familiar with this game, he's pretty much your HQ. You then have your Sunbringer, who is the mage, I guess you could call it, the magician or the spellcaster.
They call it a caster in Freeblades.
Caster, spellcaster for the Traazorites. And then you have a Legionnaire, who is a troop type
Follower.
Actually, he is a follower. He's not a hero, he's a follower. So he's actually one of the more expensive followers. He might be I think John said he was the most expensive follower in the game at the time at one point. That's awesome. And then you have a Packmaster, who's a hero. And then the pack master's got to have his pack, of course. And those are the Verazin. And they hunt together. They're like little raptors. That's so cool. That's 150 points.
150 gold.
Gold of Traazorites.
And now for the Grular. Now, Grular are essentially Mongolians that like to ally themselves with demons. But when I say demons, I mean just like more... These demons are more aliens than demons. They're not really like dark, devil, demonic demons. There is a faction coming out in the game eventually for that, where there will be, when you think about demons, you think about Khorne, those type of demons if you're a 40k or Age of Sigmar player. But these are more demons as in the fact that they're alien, they're from somewhere else, a different realm type deal.
Yeah, ethereal type thing.
Ethereal. Now, I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Freeblades. Fluff bunnies, but
Bunnies?
yeah, that's what they're called. People who like to fluff. All right. So, anyways, led by Korkan himself, who's right here. Now he is pretty cool, and we got our caster, who's the warlock, and we got two more heroes. We got a mounted marauder back there, as well as Gadaral. I'm butchering her name, but she's a demon. She's a demon model. She's allying with him. She's pretty cool. She can use any weapon in the combat, in the melee or the shooting phase that's on one of people in the army or somebody from the other army she's touching. And then for followers, we got a Krang and a Bludgeoneer. And that is 150 gold of the Grular. Again, these are both starter box armies. We're playing straight from the starter box, and 35 bucks. You got these models. Want to give a big shout out though, first of all, to my buddy David at Perpetual Painting for painting up my beautiful models and the bases. And Elric's Hobby did supply those bases, their sweet deck bases as well. So let's go ahead and get into some action.
We gotta take a look at the table.
Yeah, we have to do that.
And here's the table we're playing on. Freeblades. Now, the owner and the rule book, it's a living rule book. It's actually pretty cool. You pay $10 and you get a PDF copy of the rule book, but you own that for the rest, I guess, of your Freeblades career, and it's constantly updated, which is awesome. And also all the stat cards are available online for free for all your characters. So that's pretty cool. But anyways, the reason why I mentioned that is John and the rule book, they basically allow you to make your own game. It is generally suggested you play on a 4x4 table with around this much terrain. Terrain has features and whatnot, but I just wanted to show you the table. This is a 4x4 board. The edge of the board stops at the castle. All this terrain is provided by GameMat.eu, even the mat, so it's awesome stuff. Thank you, GameMat, for this stuff. The trees are not provided by GameMat. We bought those ourselves, but GameMat is a great supporter of this channel. We want to thank you. Alright guys, let's get into the action of the game, and we'll show you how to play some Freeblades.
And for the mission we are playing today, we are playing mission number 1 out of the living rule book, and that is the skirmish mission. So you got a 2-inch objective here in the middle of the table. Now how
Which
you win?
DGS sells an objective set.
Yeah, so they sell token sets. This is the old school token set I bought 2 years ago. They now do a wooden set with more variety as well as more tokens for the same price that Kevin has. But DGS, of course, also sells the dice packs you need for the game because they have different things like D9s, which are in this game but available really nowhere else in any other game. But so we have one objective in the middle of the table. Now, DGS usually has 2 ways to win the victory. You can either win by the mission rules,
or the objectives, yeah.
Or the objectives, or you can break your opponent's army. Now, a lot of games have break your opponent's army features, but this game, basically, you count up how many wounds you have, or life points it's called in this game, on your models, and as soon as you lose, go below half.
A full model. So
a full model.
Or a model has to be fully dead or all its wounds removed for it to count towards the wound count.
And in this game, they're not called dead, they're called down.
Down, sorry.
Yes. But yes, so you either win by doing the objective or you break your opponent by killing his models with more than half of their life points total.
So if I have 20 models, if I have 20 wounds combined with all my models, and you kill 5 models and they each have 2 life points, and those are fully dead, at the end of that turn, once the 5th model dies and I've lost 10 life points, I automatically lose. Now, it doesn't automatically end because if I can also hopefully maybe kill some of your models, and then we both lost via that way, it would be a tie. But anyways, this is skirmish, so the objective's to have one of your guys either on or touching the objective, And if you do that for 2 turns, and there are no enemy models within 3 inches on either of those turns, or at the end of the turn, sorry, at the end of the turn, if for 2 turns consecutively, if there's no enemy models within 3 inches of the objective, you win the objective.
Yes. This game also is not a you go, I go situation. It's you do your movement phase, I do my movement phase. You do your shooting, I do my shooting.
Yeah, it's not a full turn and then a full turn. It's always interlocked, which is pretty cool. And you roll for initiative at the start of each turn. All right, guys, we'll come back and we'll roll to start the game. All right, now we're gonna roll to see who places the first model. At the start of any Freeblades game, you gotta roll to see who places the first model. Now, to do that, each opponent has, well, you should have your data cards, and then on your data card is all the rules. Some of your models will have scout or scouting points. So you add up the total amount of scouting points you have and add that to your dice roll.
You get 2 scouting points per model with scout.
I have no scouts.
So I have 2, so that means my dice is gonna be D10 plus 2. Kevin is gonna
No,
be...
you're plus 4 because you got 2 scouts.
I got 1 scout.
Okay, just D10 plus 2 it is then.
Yes.
All right, let's roll.
I rolled a 4.
So you got 2 plus 2 is 4, and I rolled a 9. That means I get to place the first model. I'll go ahead. Now, deployment for this is your deployment zones just like a Dawn of War situation. Your long edge of the board. I guess there's no long edge of the board, really.
And you get to go 9 inches up.
9 inches up. So actually, the first one to comment down below and say, I want that stick, we'll send you a free Basement Collective 9-inch stick. Hopefully you're watching this video. Anywhere in the world, we'll send that to you. Anyways, Irvin, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to place my cash shark right up front and center.
Perfect. Can you destroying the trees? Okay. So I will place down, I'm going to use Corkhan's hero ability. Now, some of the leaders come with inherent abilities, not all of them though. And Corkhan allows me to put a Marauder, and he's going to be flank march. So basically, during any of the movement phases, I may keep 1 Marauder model off the table at the deployment. In the movement phase of any turn, the model may arrive from any table edge.
Awesome.
So that's what but that doesn't count as a deployment. That's just a rule. It doesn't count as a deployment. I will put down a, let's put a Krang. And Krang's going to go right here. Now, Krang's just a regular old follower.
Alright, I'm going to put my Varus in number 1 right here.
Sure.
Go ahead.
I will put down, let's put down, I keep butchering her name. Let me see.
Gargal, blah, blah.
Gadarl.
Gadarl.
Gadarl. Now, Gadarl's going to go right, right here.
Okay, I'm going to place Varus in number 2. Go ahead.
Sweet. Okay, I will place down a Bludgeoneer, and Bludgeoneer is just going to go right into here.
Alright, I'll place down a Packmaster.
Packmaster, sweet. I will place down my Warlock, and my Warlock's going to go behind. Go ahead.
My Sun Eater is going to go right here.
Awesome, and I'll put down Corkhan, my leader, up front and center.
Alright, and then last but not least, I got my Legionnaire, and he's going to go right there. I'm going to put him right here, actually.
Awesome. So that is the deployment.
I do have Infiltrate.
Okay, so now we do infiltrates.
So after deployment, if you have anybody with Infiltrate, you get to move that. Infiltrate is just basically moving up to your movement speed, or your speed characteristic. So my little dragon here, guys, Raptors have a speed of 8, so they're going to run up like this. And then my Packmaster has a speed of 7. He's going to go right behind them.
He also infiltrates?
Yes, he does.
Nice. And I have 0 infiltrates. I would have 1, but he's currently sitting off the board.
So that's deployment. Let's go ahead and come back, and we'll start the first turn. Alright, and to start the first turn of the game, infiltrating has been done. We've already deployed. We roll a dice, a d10, as it is in the rulebook, and whoever rolls the highest gets to go first. I rolled a 1.
So that's a tart. It's always a fail, a 1.
A 1 is always a fail regardless of modifiers. Alright, Irvin, your first turn.
Okay.
Alright, and we are on to the first phase of the game, which is the magic phase. Now, normally, Irvin would be the first one to cast a spell because he's got initiative, but he doesn't have any spells he wants to cast in the first turn, so I will go ahead and cast my first spell. Now, the way this works is your caster, in the case my Sunbringer, has 15 power. What power is that each spell, or if you want to dispel, there's a certain power rating you have to meet, and you have to spend that power. And once you spend your 15 power, you can no longer cast or dispel any spells. So my caster is going to cast a 2 power spell, which is called Crusade, and that's going to be on my Keshark, my leader right here. What that does is that gives him Battle Cry. Battle Cry is at the end or in the movement phase. He can elect to use his Battle Cry, and any of my models in my unit may move immediately up to 3 inches directly towards him. So that costs 2 power to cast. So I'm going to put my 2 power tokens.
What's the range of that within him to do that?
18 inches. And all spells are 18 inches unless they say specifically otherwise. Unless the missile spells, in which missile spells normally have a 9-inch range. So it costs 2 to cast. Now it doesn't automatically go off. I have to cast it, and my casting rating or my CAR is a D10. It goes off on anything but a 1, which is a Tarch. So I got an 8, so it will successfully go off. My caster now has Battle Cry. Not my caster, my leader, which I'll put the token there to remind me.
Now on to the movement phase. So first of all, a bit overview of the movement phase. Your model has a speed, and you can see all their speed on the card. I know there's glares right there, but you can see right there my Warlock speed is 7. So in the movement phase you can do a few things. Also in the movement phase is where you do your charges. You can choose to run. Now running is, you can't go over most terrain, but you can double, I'm not even on the camera, sorry, not on the model, but you can double your speed, and the last 3 inches of this, the last 2 inches of the speed have to be in a straight line, and you can't change facing. You can also charge into combat. So charging into combat means you could also run into combat as well, because you just get a movement into a separate model. And when you charge into combat, your opponent gets to do a few things as well. Your opponent can decide to counter charge with you, and what that means is when you declare a charge against their model, they're going to say, I'm going to counter charge. So you add up your 2 movements and it's prorated. So if that makes sense, so say he has a movement of 5 and I have a movement of 10, and there's 9 inches between us, I'm moving up 6 and he's moving up 3. If there was 6 inches between us, I'm moving up 4 and he's moving up 2.
And as long as you move more than 3 inches, each model can count as charging.
Yes, and the charging bonus in this game is you get +1 to damage, and you get to attack first. So you can do that in the movement phase. Also, if you get charged, you can also decide to do a stand and shoot type deal, and that is when the model comes within 4 inches, you declare it to shoot at him at a -1 modifier. So that's something you could do as well. So that's what movement phase is. If your caster casts a spell, he cannot run in a game, but he can still move.
He can't charge out, he can just move.
Yeah, but yeah, you can't charge, but you can move. That as well. You can walk and run into combat without charging, but you don't get the charge bonus. And when you want to engage a model, you have to be base to base with that model to be engaged with it. So that is a bit of an overview of the movement phase. Let's go ahead and do my movement. Awesome. And at the end of the movement, well, not the end of the movement phase yet, but just to go quickly over the movement phase, I moved my Gadaro up, and my Bludgeoneer, my Krang, and my Warlock just came behind. As well, my Marauder came on this table from this table edge right here and chose to run, so moved not totally double his movement. And I also chose to put my guy on delay. Now what delay is if you get initiative, you go first, you can choose to put your guy on delay, and you have to pass a discipline check.
Put 1 model on delay.
Put 1 model on delay, yes. And you have to pass a discipline check, and your discipline rating will be on your card. As you see, this guy's a discipline of D8. So to pass a discipline test, it's just, you have to get 4 or above, and if you do that, he gets to be on delay. What that means is he gets to do his movement phase after all of his opponent's movement activations go. So in the movement phase, you talk about activating a model, and that is their movement phase. A few things I forgot to mention during the movement: you cannot counter charge if you moved your models already, because they use their activation that turn, and counter charging counts as their activation for that turn. So other than that, Kevin moved his dinosaurs up, as well as the Packmaster. He ran the spear guy in the back. What's his name? Legionnaire. As well, he ran as leader. Now Keshark. Now what's good about his Keshark is he casted that spell, Battle Cry, so his Keshark move, and then all unengaged friendly models can move up to free 3 inches at the end of the Keshark's activation. So these guys all got a boost to the movement. So Kevin is touching the objective right now, which means next turn I have to get in within 3 inches of the objective. If not, Kevin's gonna win the game. But let's go ahead and go on to the shooting phase. And Korkon did use his delay, and he moved up just behind the Bludgeoneers. I could have attempted to charge the little dinosaurs, but that would have put my leader out in the open for a feeding frenzy back there. So we will now move on to the shooting phase. For the shooting phase, shooting in this game happens all simultaneously, and then the wounds, the models, any life points lost are taken off at the end, as well any models put down are taken off at the end of the shooting phase. A few things about shooting phase. If you move, you get -1 to your shooting phase. If you run, you get -2 to your shooting to roll to hit, and that is your RAR, and we'll get to that in a second. Another thing is all bows have ranges on it. They have a first...
All range weapons.
Yeah, sorry, my apology. All weapons have ranges on them. So if we take a look at the Marauder card right here, you're going to notice a composite bow D8, and that's its damage, but 10, 20, and 30. So if they're in 10-inch range, they don't get -1. If they're in the second profile, they get -1, and if they get in the third profile, they're -2 to shoot. Other than that, if a model's concealed, which means you can't draw a direct line of sight to a model, it does get -1 to hit as well. And I'm pretty sure that's it for all the shooting phase rules. Oh yeah, and you can shoot at engaged models in this game, but you get -4 to hit, and if you miss that shot, you have to roll again, and you could potentially wound your own guys, or something else happens. So make sure you probably don't want to shoot into it unless you're desperate, but anything could happen in this game when there's escalating dice and spiking dice. So let's go ahead and go over the shooting phase and how to shoot first of all. So if you look on your model's card, you got a RAR. Now that's your range attack rating. So that's it gives you a dice level. So this Marauder's a D10. Now for both shooting and melee, your RAR to hit goes against the model's defense. So you just have to roll higher than the model's defense, but equal to or higher, correct? But any modifiers go on after you roll the dice, which means you can still spike. So let's go ahead and do the Marauder shooting first. So the Marauder has a range of D10, and he's gonna shoot at his gentleman right there. And what's my range on him? Cat Shark, yeah.
You're within 9 inches.
I'm within 9 inches, which means I'm in my first profile of 10 inches right here. So I get a D10, but I did run, so I got -2. So what's your defense, sir?
My defense on my Keshark is 5.
5.
So 5 shields. So if you have shield breaker, you.
Yeah. So usually range weapons don't have shield breaker. So composite bow. So I need I rolled a 3. I needed a 5 plus -2, so I needed a 7. So that didn't hit, and that is all my range attacks except for my Gadarl can also use range attacks of anybody. She has a cool rule that says, let me just pull it out here. Sorry. It's called Weapon Morph. May choose any single ranged weapon used by any model in its free band, or model in its free band in which it has been in contact, or model in an enemy free band in which it is in contact, which to make melee and range attacks each phase. So I have a RAR of D8, and I'm going to choose to use the composite bow, and I'm going to try to peg off one of these mini dinosaurs. So I did move and did it run, so I got -1 to my RAR. And what is your defense there on one of your mini dinosaurs?
That is 4.
4, perfect. So I'm going to grab a D8, which is right here, and I torch. You always fail on torch. So that is the end of my shooting. We'll move on to Kevin's shooting.
I have none. My Legionnaire has a 9-inch range with his spear, and that's it.
Perfect. So next we move into combat. There is no combat because there's nobody engaged, and charging is done in the movement phase. So that is the end of turn 1. No models are lost, so we don't have to worry about breakpoints yet. And Kevin's holding the objective, touching the objective, which means next turn he could win the game if I have nothing within 3 inches of the objective and he's still touching it. Let's go on to turn 2.
Alrighty, here we are, turn 2. Let's roll for initiative. Get that D10 out, Irvin.
D10. I always lose these dice right here.
Alright, so I got an 8.
And I spiked. Got a
so
10.
Irvin rolled a 10. So that means Irvin is at 10 and he gets to roll again.
6.
16. So in this game, there are also criticals and various effects. A critical is normally TH, which is threshold or target of 10. So 10 above what I got. So I got an 8. He got a 16. So that's not enough to gang a critical. But he does get to go first. Well, he does have initiative at least.
And on the lines of the criticals, it has a few different effects. So for each different critical roll, it could have different effects. For the initiative, for every level of crit, you can decide to do two things. One is you can decide to let your opponent go first and just let him take the initiative, or you can decide to put an extra model on delay for each level.
Yeah, you can roll to put another model on delay.
Yes, you can roll to put another model on delay, and that's what critting does with this. Throughout the game, if you roll a crit on a dice, and for some reason there's no effect on that, you actually get called a Fate Stone. And now what a Fate Stone is that model with the Fate Stone can choose to reroll one dice at any point during the game by spending that Fate Stone, or at any point during the game you could spend 2 Fate Stones to get yourself a Destiny Stone, and that Destiny Stone allows you to reroll any dice, doesn't matter which model it's on. But that's only if you crit on something and it has no effect, or that'll help you in the game.
Perfect. Alright, Irvin, let's go ahead into magic. And we're on to casting, or the magic phase. Irvin is first, so he's going to take the first cast. He's going to try and summon a Zakarlash, which is a giant stone demon. Anyways, normally you need a 2+ on your target's caster rating to summon, but actually summoning is more difficult, so you require 4+. But his Warlock does have a special ability that allows him, it's called Summoner, that allows him to actually cast on -3. So on a 3+, he's going to be able to summon a Zakarlash. And that's an 8, so that is successful. Now, if I'm within my caster rating of 10 inches of him, and within line of sight, as long as I'm not evading, I can dispel. Now, my caster is right here, and his caster is all the way over there, so I'm not within 10 inches. I could also be within 10 inches of a target of the spell, but since there is no target, technically, and this is a guy coming out of thin air, and the spell goes off, then he comes out, I won't be able to dispel it. To dispel it, I would simply spend the same amount of power level as he did. So if he spent 3, which he did, I would have to spend 3, and roll higher on my caster rating. You can't tie it, you have to beat him. Alright, everyone, where's he popping up?
One quick thing to correct you. You said you can't dispel if you're evading. Your word you're looking for is panicked.
Panicked.
It's just the thing to do when somebody charges.
Sorry, panicked is the right word.
So you have to summon Zakarlash 6 inches within the caster and 6 inches away from enemy models. So if I put him right here, I should be out of 6 inches. I sure am.
Alright, so, and he does not stay on the board. He does disappear at the end of the turn, at the end phase. Alright, so for my magic, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give my mage right here, is going to give my Keshark, my leader, the mounted guy, he's going to try and give him Bone Crusher, which is Ruhan's Rage. Now what that does is that'll give him, be able to crit on a target of 5. Instead of 10. So if my dice roll is 5 higher than my opponent's dice roll for a damage, I will crit.
Nice.
Alright, Aaron, so I need a 2+ for that to go off, and I will get a 6. Would you like to attempt to dispel?
I'm not within 10 inches of you, so I cannot dispel.
Alright, so that will go off, and that is the end of the magic phase. And we are now on to the movement phase. We'll come back after the movement is complete. Alright, so this is not the end of the movement, but Irvin Zakarlash charged. He didn't charge in, he walked into my dinosaurs, so I did not get any reactions from the dinosaurs. But this legionnaire right here is within 4 inches of him, so he is going to make a reaction. Now this will cancel my movement for the turn, or my action for the movement phase, so I won't be able to declare a charge or move, but I can shoot at him. So I'm -1 to hit. I have a range rating of D8. Alright, so Irvin's defense on his Zakarlash is 4. I'm -1, so I need a 5 to hit him. And that's a 3. So that will not be a hit, so my guy can no longer activate in the movement phase. We'll go for the rest of the movement now. Alright, and then since Irvin's Zakarlash is now touching my 2 Verazin, Irvin is fearsome, and for him that means any models that are touching it or is in contact with it have to take a fear test unless they themselves are fearsome as well. and that's only the movement phase. My Verazin are not fearsome, so they're gonna have to take a test on their disc. Now their disc is normally D4. You needed a 4+ to pass a fear test, but because they're within 6 inches of my leader, I can use my leader's disc, which is 12. So the first one passes on a 9, and my second one passes on a 12. Now that's a critical, so I do get to roll that again, and I roll a 6. So that is a 18, which is 10 higher than the requirement of 4. And there's no ability on a fear test, so that means my one guy right there, my one Verazin, will get a Fate Stone.
Awesome, and I'll film the shooting phase while Kevin's picking up his tray. He dropped all his tokens and his dice. So movement phase was interesting. I went first, and I decided, as you saw, my Zacharlash charged and didn't cause any fearsome and helped Kevin out, gave him a Fate Stone. Other than that, my Gadarl charged into combat to one of the Vizirin, and my Krang also charged into combat. He should have a charge token on him. Again, charging helps you out. You get to attack first, and you get +1 to your damage. Other than that, I put my Bludgeoneer on delay, and that meaning he gets to move after Kevin moves. So other than that, my Korkan moved up, and my Warlock moved up. We moved to Kevin's movement phase, and Kevin really wanted to get into my Marauder, so he couldn't charge because you have to charge in direct line. A direct line, you cannot pivot at all. So it was an impossible charge for him to make since he was right here, and there was a piece of terrain in the way. Even after he tried to move the piece of terrain, it'd say it was in the wrong spot.
What? No, get out of here.
So he just moved into combat, and his Packmaster also just moved into combat. His Spearman, Legionnaire just moved up, as well as his Sun Eater just moved up. Kevin fell for my trap though, because I knew
activated my trap card.
I knew he was gonna go after my Marauder with his character there, Keshark, sorry, because my Marauder didn't move or anything. But so he just moved into combat and didn't charge, which left an open alley through the hole to get my Bludgeoneer and a charge range, which means my Bludgeoneer will be able to attack first on his Keshark, even though he has a lower disc, because attacking always gets to go first. So we will move into the combat phase, no, shooting phase first. But I can tell you right now, my model's engaged and can't shoot. Kevin's model's engaged and can't shoot, and my Gadara, oh, his Legionnaire can shoot. Yes, very true. I forgot about that. So we'll go into Kevin's shooting phase for his Legionnaire. So shooting phase, the Legionnaire will be able to shoot at me. So you get to shoot twice in a turn because he used a special action to shoot.
I'm going to shoot this guy right here.
So you're shooting Korkan.
I'm
now,
-1.
You are -1 because I am concealed, because he doesn't have direct line of sight to me. And my defense on a Korkan is...
And I'm within 6, so I'm minus another one.
-1 because of the medium range. My Korkan defense is 4.
Alright.
That is a 5, which is a fail.
That's a fail. Alright, combat.
And for combat now, so combat's a bit special, and if there are a big pile of models in the middle of the table, the rules make you separate it. And since I got initiative, I choose how to separate it. So you want 1-on-1 at most, and then you have to split it when it's even. So because he's only touching him, these two are going to have to go together. And you separate him so there's no more contact, because remember, when you're engaged with a model, you're in contact with him. So he's Gadarl's only in contact with the Legionnaire, so they separate, which leaves Zacharlash with the Vezirin in combat there. So it is my turn to decide. It is my turn with the initiative, so I decide which order to resolve the combats. Let's go and do. We'll start off with this big one first, and over to the big combat that I want to start with. So I charge first, which means I get to attack first, and that'll be with my Bludgeoneer. Even though he's a follower, he's pretty... His Mar is D8, and his weapon damage is D10 Shield Breaker, which means Kevin has a shield on your guy, so he's going to get -1 defense.
I'm also -1 defense because you're piled.
Yes, and you're piled on. So piling on is a rule that if you get 2 guys in combat with 1 guy, your opponent gets -1 defense for every guy after the first that's piled onto him, except if your opponent charged. Kevin didn't charge, which means I can get my pylon rule on him. Let's attack with the bludgeoneer. So Kevin's defense is normally 5, but because his defense isn't a shield, I have shield breaker. I get -1 to his defense as well. We talked about pylon, -1 for that. Puts Kevin's defense to 3 on my D8. That's a 4. I hit. Do you have parry or anything like that?
I do a parry.
So parry is a rule where it replaces it. You can. How many rounds of parry do you have?
I have 1 parry one.
Okay, so what parry does is it replaces your defense with your Mar.
So I have D12 Mar.
D12 Mar.
So my defense is now a 7, which means you
-2, which is 5.
So
Which
you no longer hit.
I no longer hit you, which is fine. So that ends his activation. So the charge bonus is gone. Now we go to the disc level, and my disc on Marauder is D8, and
D12.
and he's D12.
So he's going to attack the Marauder
Sure.
with his. He's got 2 weapons. He's got his Sackerzette.
Okay, give us 1 second. I have to replace the camera on the battery on the camera. Okay, Kevin, so what is your first attack?
So he's going to attack with his Sackerzette.
Sackerzette.
So his Mars D12. What's your defense?
My defense on him is 4.
Alright, so I'm going to need a 4. And that's a 10.
Okay,
So that's a hit.
That's a hit.
And my damage is D8 plus 1. Lethal. So normally it's TH3.
TN?
TH. For a
Threshold.
crit.
Okay, yeah.
But because I cast a spell, it's actually TH5.
So, and it's normally TH10 for a crit, not TH3.
Yeah. And lethal makes it TH8. Alright, so here we go. What was your armor value, Evan?
Armor value on him is a 4 as well.
So I need a 4 or higher. And that's a 1.
That's a torch, is always fail.
Alright, and on to my second attack. His dinosaur is attacking now.
Yep.
He's got a Mar of D8 for his bite. That's a hit.
Yep.
And then he's got bite D6 damage, which is a 2.
Which is a fail.
That's a fail. Alright, which combat are we going on to next?
Well, he gets to attack you back.
That is true.
And again, because he's attacking with a mace, which flings over the shield, he does have shield breaker. So again, Kevin's -2 to his defense. So back to a 3, and his Mar is D8, looking for above a 3. That's a 6. It hits. Kevin already uses parry, which means he cannot parry again because he only has parry 1. Some models do have parry 2. So I'm going to roll to wound, and it is a Morning Star. The damage is D8 as well. So what is your AV? 5. So I need above a 5 here, and that's a 2. So that fails to wound. And we'll move it to the Zackerlash, and Zackerlash didn't charge, and my disc is D4. What is your disc?
My disc is D4.
So we attack simultaneously. Zackerlash will attack first, and Zackerlash Mar is D10. And what's your defense?
My defense is 4.
Perfect. And that's a 10, so that's a spike.
So add more dice to it.
That's a 17. So, you don't have evade or anything like that, right?
I don't have.
Okay, so critting on a hit is a bit different. I got one. Oh, you know what? He crits on. Let me just read it here. Cause critical hit on a success melee attack on TH5.
So you got 2 levels of crit success.
2 levels of critical success. So what happens here is,
Because you're 10 higher than me, which is 2 times 5.
yeah, I'm 17 to your 4. So when you roll the hit, any critical you get, it goes to your damage. So damage now works out. So because I crit twice, that means my damage automatically starts at max dice level 2 times. So my damage on this weapon is D10, which means, so because I crit once, it starts off 10 plus the dice roll, but because I critted twice, it starts off at 20 plus the dice roll. So I'm going to roll another D10, and I critted again, so that's 30 damage.
30 damage.
And 39 damage.
39, and my armor value is 5, which means you beat me by 3 levels.
3 levels of crit, which means
That would be 3 life points gone.
3 life points, but he only has
4 life points, actually.
Yeah, that would be.
One life point for beating it, plus another 3 free for each level. But I now...
You only have 1 life point.
Yeah.
So your guy dies.
And you don't need those 3 levels to kill me.
I don't need those 3 levels to kill you. I'm not focusing on your face, which means he gets 3 fate stones, And because he goes away at the end of the turn, I'm going to instantly trade 2 of those Fate Stones for a Destiny Stone, which I get to keep, and he'll keep a Fate Stone on him. Now, that is that. So, let's go over to the Krang combat now. So, I charge first, which means I get to go first. And Krang will attack you with his Spiker Drac, which is deadly. Watch out. And he also counts as 2 models for pylon purposes, which means there's 2 models in combat with your 1 model, which means I get -1 to your defense. Your defense is 3, and his MAR is D6. Let me grab a D6 here. So it's a 6. It's a spike. It's a 2, so I go to 8. So I'm 5 over, and the model causes a critical hit on a TH10 instead of a TH8 instead of TH10.
So it's lethal.
So it doesn't do anything.
I'm on value 4.
Your armor value 3.
4.
4?
Defense 4. So
Okay.
damage.
So, Spiker Drac is deadly. It doesn't matter. So let's go to the damage here. And it's D8 damage, and you're 4. So I just need to roll above a 4 here. And I do manage to kill you. I only do 1 life point.
So he's dead.
He's dead. And perfect. So that is that. Now moving to Gadarl. Now Gadarl will attack first because she charged. And Gadarl has a weapon morph ability. She can choose any friendly model in a free band to attack with. I'm going to choose
No range?
No range.
That's cool.
I'm going to choose Zachary Lash's weapon. So she'll be attacking with Zachary Lash's weapon. And your defense on a Legionnaire is?
My Packmaster? 4.
4. Now, she's not going to get Zachary Lash's Bone Crush ability because that's ability on him and not ability on the weapon. So, Gadarl's MAR is D10, so I have to beat a 4, and that's a 2, so I fail that. So
He'll attack back.
he gets to attack back.
So he has his D10.
D10, and my defense on her is a 5.
That's an 8.
That's an 8. So you do.
How
I'm
many
going to
life
use
points does she
my.
have?
I'm going to use. She has a 2 life points, but I'm going to use my ability called Dodge. Now, what Dodge does here, we'll show it on camera. Model may choose to dodge 1 attack per turn by making an agility test and using the result of model's defense for the attack. My agility stats is D10. Now, there are a bunch of different stats in this game. If your model doesn't have a listed dice level for that stat, you assume it's automatically D6, I think.
So it's the ability level.
Oh, it's ability level, sorry, my apology, which is on there, her D8. But I do have agility D10, which is good. So you rolled an 8?
Yeah, so you need to roll 9 or 10.
Nope. Oh yeah, I need to roll a 9 or 10.
You gotta beat it.
And that's a 7. So, does not work, so Kevin can roll to wound now. Now my AV is 3. And what's your damage?
D8 plus 2.
She's a beast.
He's
One's a tart, you always fail regardless. 3.
3, so that'll cause a life point.
Yeah, that will cause a life point of damage. So now we go to combat resolution. I killed these 2 guys here. So this follower right here is going to have to take a disc chest because he saw another follower die.
Yeah, and he's unengaged.
And he's unengaged. So, what's your disc on him?
It's a 7. So
7. It's a pass. He has a disc of D8.
Yeah, and you need a 4.
Okay,
He
perfect.
lost his combat over here.
I lost his combat over here, which means I need to take a disc test. And I'm within 6 inches of my caster, so I can use his D12. My leader. And that is a 2. I'm going to use my Destiny Stone to reroll that.
You don't lose your...
I don't want to lose my Gadarl. For a 4 to just pass it. Perfect. So that is the end of the combat phase.
Nobody took wounds over here.
Nobody took wounds over here, so there's no combat resolution there. I am currently touching the objective and Kevin's not, but Kevin has a model within 3 inches. So that is the end of turn 2. Zachary goes poof, gone with his Fate Stone. Sad face, bye-bye Zachary. Until next turn. Let's go to turn 3. Alright, here we are, turn 3. Some initiative would be nice here. Let's go. Oh, I got a 5. Irvin, man, you're good. You're rolling these spikes pretty well, eh?
12.
So you did not critical me because I have a 5. Alright, Irvin has initiative.
I'll take initiative.
Awesome. So, psychic phase, not psychic phase, magic phase, because this is a fantasy game, not a futuristic game. I will attempt to summon Zacralash again. So again, looking for a 3+, and I Tarch, which means I failed to go off. And I do still spend the power, so I'm down to 9 power.
For me, I'm going to use this, my Sunbringer, to sunburn his Galderahal, if that's how you pronounce that. So it goes off on a 2+ on my caster rating. Oh, that's a Tarch as well. Double Tarch.
Double Tarch.
All right, so I will spend that 1 point. So I have spent 3 so far. Going on to the movement phase. All right, so Irvin decided he's going to charge his Korkan into my Legionnaire. Now my Legionnaire is going to make a reaction shot. I did cheat or get the rules wrong last time. If I make a reaction shot, I can't shoot normally in the shooting phase. I did do that. I didn't do any damage. It's not the end of the world. But I'm going to be in contact, so it doesn't matter if I can't shoot. I could have shoot anyways. So my Legionnaire has a MAR of D8. What's your defense on him, Irvin?
Defense on Korkan is a defense of 4.
So I need a 4 or higher. That's -1, so that's a successful hit. Damage is going to be D6 +1.
I got a parry, dude.
Oh, you got a parry. You're going to use it and not save it for combat?
What's your damage?
My
+1?
Yeah, and my damage of combat's D8 +1.
Okay, I will choose to.
Alright, so here it is.
Maybe 5.
Oh, and that doesn't wound. That's only a 4. Alright, so we'll go back to the rest of the movement. Alright, for movement, Irvin's Krang and his Korkan moved and charged it to my Legionnaire.
Korkan didn't charge, just moved.
Just moved. Who's this guy, Irvin?
That is my Warlock.
The Warlock is holding the objective, and other than that, my Mage just moved up a bit. And that's that. We will go into the shooting phase, which there is none.
Nope.
Let's go straight into combat.
Awesome.
Irvin's going to do this combat here with my Legionnaire first. He is piled on, so I'm -1. And he does benefit from a shield as well.
Okay, so Krang will attack first because he charged. He has to attack first. So I'm going to use Deadly. Cool, that doesn't do anything. So, but you're still -1 defense. So what is your defense now?
6 normally, so 5.
Defense 5. So my Mar is a D6. Where's my D6 gone?
It's over there. Right in front of you. Look down. Oh, there we are.
A 5. I hit.
Alright, and to wound me, you need, I have armor value of 5.
5. So I got a D8 and I'm deadly. So anything if I get 8 above you, it counts as a crit instead of 10. And that's a 2, fails to wound.
What's your disc on him?
Disc is a D6.
Oh, so I have a D8, so I'll attack next.
No. We go to initiative disc test. And my disc definitely on Korkan is D12.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Alright, attack Korkan then.
So Korkan will do his Morning Star first. So the Morning Star is Shield Breaker, which means you get -1 defense, plus -1 because I'm piled on. So that'll give you a defense of 4.
Yeah.
Which is my Mar of D12.
D12, look at this big guy.
And
That's an 11, so that hits.
Do you have a parry?
I do not have a parry.
Okay. And my damage is D8, and your defense is a 5.
Yeah, let's see this. 50% chance. No.
Oh.
Alright, so I'm going to attack
I'm
the...
not done. He has 2 attacks.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. This next one's not Shield Breaker. It's a deadly attack. So again, I just need a
5.
a 5. And that's a 5. I hit.
Alright.
And again, D8 damage, needing a
3.
Oh, what garbage is that?
Alright, I'm going to attack not the Korkan because he seems pretty beefy.
Yeah.
D8 Mar, what's your defense on your...
Krang?
Yeah.
Defense is 5 and...
Alright, so I don't hit. Do you have a shield breaker?
Do I have Shield Breaker?
Do you have a shield? No.
I don't have a shield.
Alright, so I don't hit. So that combat doesn't happen. Well, that does happen. Just we bounce off each other. Right, where to next, Irvin?
I'm going to go over here to this combat.
Alright, so I attack before you.
What's your disc?
My disc is D10.
Mine is also D10.
We attack at the same time. So I got Mar of D10. Oh, that's a critical.
That's a spike.
A spike, sorry. What's your defense over there?
It's 5.
So I need a 5 here, and I get... Oh, that's a 6.
So I am going to choose to use a parry ability.
You're going to try and parry that.
Of course I am.
You need to critical to... Alright, let's see it.
Yeah, I can crit. We can crit. That's a 10.
No, don't roll a 6 here. Don't roll a 6. Dang it! So I still hit.
You still hit.
I still hit, but that's not a critical. You only have 1 life point left, eh?
I only have 1 life point.
And what's your armor value?
My AV is 3.
So I got D8 plus 2. Not a 1.
1.
Ah, you're dead. Alright, is there any followers within range? That's not unengaged. No, so I'm just going to choose to reposition like this.
So you can move up to 3 inches, I think.
No, you can't. You just turn.
You just turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just moved up a bit. Alright, and we're going to do the last combat over here. Do I have the highest disc over there?
You sure do.
I'm going to attack the Marauder.
Sure.
Alright, so my first attack's a D12.
Yep.
11 will definitely hit you.
You definitely hit me with that.
Alright, and my damage is D8 plus 1. With my Sazakit. A 6, a 7. So that'll put a damage through on the Marauder. He has 1 life point left.
Sure does.
Alright, what's your defense?
My defense is a 4.
Now my bite will get through.
Nice.
And your armor value?
A 4.
Oh boy. Here it is. No, I got a 1. That's a tarch.
Okay.
Alright, Evan, you can
I'll
attack me back.
Marauder first. He'll attack you with his shield breaker. And again, you're going to be on defense 3 because I piled on and you have -1 defense because I'm using a shield breaker weapon. So, looking for that 3 and got a 2. Good job.
Congratulations.
Okay. We'll go over to the Krang now. The Krang does not have a shield breaker. He's a deadly weapon.
Alright.
So we're going to, again, looking for a 4 on a D6 because my Mar is D6. And that's a spike.
Spike.
And that's a
7, so that hits.
That hits. And my damage...
Hold up, I'm going to parry.
Okay, beat my 7.
I got a D12. And I will get an 11.
No.
So I won that combat.
You did win that combat.
So I won this combat. This combat is null. And I won this combat, so go ahead and do some break checks over there,
So
Irvin.
what we're going to do over here...
What's his...
I'm not within 6 of my leader. So
What's his disc?
A disc of D8.
Alright, let's see. Oh, he's
spike.
good.
That's
a 2, so that's a 10. So he's good. He doesn't critical. And the other guy?
And Krang is a D6. And
He fails, so he runs away. D4 plus your movement.
D4 plus my movement away. Panicking directly away from the model, so it'll be
1 plus your...
plus 7 is 8 inches directly away.
Alright, and if he was the only model I was unlocked with, I could have chased him down, but I'm not, so I can't. Alright, Evan. That's that. Going into the next turn.
Turn 4.
So now, normally it should be noted, guys, that you normally play until the game's over or the time limit is reached. Normally, time limit for games are an hour and a half, I believe, for tournament games. But we're just going to continue playing until this ends or it just gets really long.
Yeah.
Alright, Evan, here we go. Initiative is going to be mine with a 10. A 3.
Spike, so
I do spike. A 4.
you do crit.
So that allows me to...
Put 2 models on delay or allow me to go first and put...
I will go first for movement.
Okay.
I'll take initiative.
Delay.
Yes, sir.
And for the folks watching, I did make a mistake. We're not going to change anything because I need to learn. This was a bludgeoneer, not a Krang, so my attack would have been more lethal than what I thought it was going to be. But and I did fail my disc, but he actually only has a D4 disc as well. So we're just going to keep it as it is. But going forward, this model is a bludgeoneer, not a Krang. I made a mistake. I apologize. And for the magic phase, Kevin is up first. He did win initiative. Your Sun Eater is casting.
Sunbringer, burner, sunburner, sunburner.
Sunbringer, there you go.
Is going to cast Ruhan's Will on him.
Yep.
That costs 2.
Yep.
And that's Ruhan's Voice, sorry. And that's going to give him plus 2 disc level, and it goes off on a 3. Would you like to dispel me?
I will attempt to dispel it for 2 points. So you rolled a 3. I need to roll higher than a 3. And that is on my D10 of car. And I rolled a 10. I spike.
Alright, let's see.
And that's a 19.
So that will give you a Fate Stone.
Yes. No, that won't give me a Fate Stone. When you spike when casting a spell, you get 1 of your power level you spent back.
Oh, okay.
So I spent 2 to get that. But I will get 1 back.
And
so I only spend 1.
So I spend it and it doesn't go off.
Exactly.
What are you doing?
I will attempt to summon Zacralash again. And a Targe again.
Better spend those 3 there, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, you're looking pretty. You can. Oh, you got 3 left.
Oh, I'll have 3 left. Don't worry about me.
All right. So I guess we're into shooting.
I was incorrect. I already took the 2 out, which means I have 5 power left on my Warlock.
So there's no more shooting.
No more shooting.
Well, there's no shooting. None of us can shoot. So we go to combat?
Well, no, I have to do my movement first. You do movement first.
Oh, yeah, movement. Sorry.
Let's go ahead and do some movement. And for the movement, Kevin's Packmaster just walked into my Warlock, and his Sunbringer just moved up a tad. Over here, my Bludgeoneer with his beautiful disc at D4 did not roll a 4+, so unfortunately he ran away. He's about 1.25 inches away from the table edge, so he needs to live next turn. Probably not. We can hope. This combat remains over here between the Marauder and his character. We will go on no shooting because all the characters that can shoot or models that can shoot are locked in combat. We will go into the assault phase. Kevin, where would you like to start off with?
Let's go with my leader trying to kill Marauder.
Perfect.
Alright, so he's going to attack with his Sakazet first.
Okay.
And that's a hit.
That's a 6 to my defense of 4, yep.
Do you have a parry?
I do not have a parry on him.
Alright, so D8 plus 1, what's your defense?
D8 plus 1, my defense is, AV you mean, is 4.
Maybe, so I need a 3 or higher here.
Yep.
Oh, he kills him.
And that's a 5, which means, unfortunately, my guy dies.
Watch your Bludgeoneer there, you're crushing him. Alright, so I'm just going to reposition like that.
Sure. So just to confirm, guys, my break point on my models, I have 1, 2 life points, 5 because he has 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 6. So Kevin has to kill 2 more of my wounds to break me. Kevin, how many wounds do you have?
I have 1, 2,
5.
5. This Packmaster has 3, so that's 8, 9, 10, 11.
Perfect.
Alright, so next let's go to the Packmaster combat. What's your disc on him, Irvin?
Packmaster, disc on the Warlock is probably D8.
D10.
Disc on a Warlock is D8.
Alright, so I got a D10. Let's try and hit you.
My defense is 4. That's a
hit.
5. Okay.
And wound you is D8 plus 2. What's your armor value?
My armor value is a 2. Don't tarch.
Oh, yeah. Oh, so that's a wound.
A wound on him.
So he has 1 wound left, Irvin?
He has 1 wound left.
That's not good. He dies, you lose, bro.
I know. Warlock will attack back though. He has a Spiker Jack as well, and he is summoned, but that doesn't matter. A Shadow Spear, I should say. But his Mar is D6 versus your defense of 5.
Yep, 4. 4 defense.
Defense of 4. So let me roll dice here.
Oh,
That's a
it's
tarch. Perfect.
All right, we'll go over to here now. Attack me first.
So we'll attack Korkan first. Korkan will attack with his Spiker Jack first. The deadly. Actually, you know what? Let's do the Morning Star first. So what's your defense?
My defense is 6.
-1 because I'm piled on. -2 because of the shield breaker.
Yeah.
So looking for a 4. That's a 6.
Yep, and my armor is a 5.
5 again. Looking for a 5+. I haven't rolled one yet. There's a 6. Take a
That would
wound
kill him.
and you kill him.
Would you like to reposition, you guys?
I would not like to reposition my guys.
All right, you gotta do 3 more wounds to win.
3 more wounds to win. We do have to do a test over here because I lost that combat.
You could lose right here, dude.
I could lose right here, but I have a D12 disc and I need a 4+ because I'm within 6 inches of my leader, and that is an 11, which I pass.
Yes.
So on to initiative. I got a 9.
I got a 5.
I will take the initiative. So Irvin's going to attempt to summon a Zacharlash here.
Down to 2 power level.
Yeah.
Let's not tarch a 3rd turn in a row. That'd be very upsetting.
That not for me, it wouldn't.
Okay, where did my D10 go?
Oh my goodness, Irvin.
Right here.
Oh, there it is. 7. All right, I'll spend 3 points to try and stop you. An 8, I stop you.
Oh!
All right, so I'm going to cast a range attack against you.
Okay. You can't target a ranged when I'm engaged.
Yeah, I can.
No, you can't.
It's a normal range attack.
You're gonna do the -4.
Yeah, I'm going to try and kill you, dude. If I kill you, I win.
So you have to cast it number 1.
Yeah, so there's a cast on a 2. Are you going to attempt to stop
How
that?
many points is it?
That is 1 point.
I will spend a point
All right,
to try to get beat a 2.
and you do.
Okay.
On to the movement phase.
Yep.
So as any good game, in the movement phase, we all just ran into each other. Nobody even charged. So what happened is these guys are going to split off like this. These guys are going to split off like that. And then these two over here are attacking each other. Irvin?
That's the rules. You
can't have multiple combats.
Yeah, you can't have guys piled onto each other when there's two guys in combat. All right, Aaron, which combat do you want to do first?
Let's do the Warlock first.
The Warlock. All right, so I get...
Before, he needs to do his test. I forgot to
Oh, yeah. If he runs off the board, he just lose? No?
Nope.
All right, let's see. Oh, he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. How many life points is that? 5 dead now?
5 dead, yeah.
All right, so Warlock first.
Yep.
All right, D12. A 3.
No.
That doesn't do it?
No. My defense on my Warlock is a 4.
Is it?
Yeah.
Dang it. All right, here we go. No, that's a torch.
Warlock lives. I'm
Ah.
gonna attack you back.
All right, let's see it.
Mar D6. So what's your defense?
My defense on him is 5.
5.
1. That's a torch.
Okay, let's move over to this combat now.
Okay, my Sunbringer, sorry.
Krang. Facing does matter in this game, so Krang.
Yeah, it does. Facing doesn't matter. D6 for my Mar, and a D8.
So Krang defense is 5.
What's his disc?
Disc is D6.
Alright, so a 5 hits you.
Yep.
Krang has 2 wounds? Or 1?
Krang has 1 wound.
Alright, and what's your,
Point.
what's your armor value?
A whole 3.
No, that's a 1! I could have won by killing that guy too!
Krang's gonna show up here. He's gonna hit you with your D6. Your
Wait,
defense.
plus 1 to death, or a second attack at -2. Oh, I'm gonna take a second attack at -2 Mar level.
Sweet.
Alright, so I go from a D6 to a, well, you can't go lower than a D4, so let's just hit up a D4 for my second attack. You ready for this, Aaron?
You can't. You need a spike. A
2. Oh well. Can't blame a brother for trying.
Awesome. I will try to attack now. My Mar is a D6, which is a defense of
4.
I
A
do not
2. Alright, now we have the Pack Master.
hit. Packmaster V. So if I kill him here, I win the game and you lose.
Yeah, but you have to do 3 life points.
Oh, I got 2 attacks, dude.
It's possible.
Possible.
Alright, let's see this.
Possible. Korkron will attack first, and he will go with his. Let's save the deadly attack for last. Let's go Shield Breaker first.
He doesn't have a shield. He's just defense 4.
Defense 4. So looking to beat a 4.
It's a 7. That does it.
Okay. So D8.
Of 3.
Where's my D8 gone? I lose my dice constantly over here.
That's a 5.
That's a wound.
So I got a Die Hard. So if I lose a life point, I get to make an endurance test of D12. And I do 7+, I don't take the wound. And it's Die Hard 1, so I can only do that once a turn. And that's a 7, so I do not take the
I can
wound.
still kill you here, dude.
Alright, yeah, now you just need a real good spike here. So spiking and
Okay,
critting.
Let's roll to hit.
That's a 6.
Hit. Got deadly weapon though, so damage is
4, so that just does a wound.
Yep.
And I can't stop that.
You lose combat though, and I could chase you, so this is important.
You can't chase me. Alright, let's see here. I'll use my disc, my buddy's level of D12 over there.
Leader's level D12, sure.
Alright, don't roll.
No!
That's 9. Alright, Aaron, the game goes on.
The game goes on.
Reroll for initiative.
We do.
An 8.
7.
Alright, so I'll go first.
Yep.
I will, okay, we'll come back for the magic phase.
Yep.
For my turn, I'm just going to try and heal my Pack Master. And that's a critical. So that's a 17, so that cost me nothing to cast. Are you going to use your last points to try and dispel that?
Nothing if I roll an 8.
Oh yeah, so you can use your last point.
Let me use my last point.
Let's see it. Big roll here.
4.
That's a 4, so it goes off and it doesn't cost me anything to cast. Alright, because it's -1 because of my critical.
So you heal your guy up.
Alright, so he's healed and we will go into combat.
Got no power level left, so I can no longer cast.
So let's go straight into combat.
Yep.
I'm going to attack with my leader
Sure.
into your Warlock.
Yep.
D12.
Yep.
An 11.
Okay. We can still live. We can still live.
You got a 3.
My AV on my guy is a oh, it's right here. A 2.
Alright, so
Tarch.
He's
No.
dead.
He's dead.
He's dead. Alright, moving on to my Sun Eater over here.
Yep.
She's got her D6 and she's going to elect and make another attack after this.
No.
It misses, so -2 dice level, D4. That's a 1. That's a torch. Alright, attack me back, Irvin.
Okay, so I'll attack you back with my Krang. My Krang is a D6 to beat your defense of a 3, right?
4.
I got a 5.
All right, an armor value of 2.
2, and my damage is a D8.
A 1.
Oh no!
It's a torch. All right, over here, you get to attack first.
I do. Okay, so 4.
This hits me.
Nice. And
You need a 3.
this is the first one again. This is the one that's a shield right here. Wounds.
That's a wounds on a 7+. I'll ignore that on a D12. And that's a 1. That's a torch. So he takes 1.
Okay, now the deadly attack.
Let's see it.
An 8
Hit.
and a wound.
Oh man, it's a good thing I removed that wound. Otherwise, he just would have won.
No, we would have tied.
All right, so I don't die. Irvin lost his 6 life points, and in the end, he has now been broken.
Yeah, but you can run away still, bro.
I can run away. Let's test that.
You're not attacking me back, though. You can kill me.
Let's just see. No, I roll a 4, so I will win regardless.
Perfect.
All right, handshake.
Good game.
We'll come back for some post-game analysis.
Sure will. Hey, Basement Collective fans. Thank you very much for sticking it out for the whole battle report.
That's the first one.
First Freeblades Battle
First
Report.
Freeblades. We have to apologize if there was any rules errors, and you know we for some reason we've been doing this a while and we still have shaky hands. I think we're gonna have to invest in some different tripods and try and start filming like that.
Yeah, we'll see.
But anyways, we can always. But I love that game.
It was a fun game.
That game it's just so different compared to anything I've ever played before.
It's so many things could happen with the spiking and
yeah. Like if I didn't if I didn't heal that 1 life point on my guy, we would have tied at the end because you would have broke me and I would have broke you.
Yep.
But like, oh my goodness, the game just has so many variables and the spiking, it's just so different. Like, and I haven't played a whole lot of games, so maybe there's another game that's similar out to this, but I've never seen a game that uses escalating dice levels as well as spiking and all this. It's crazy.
It's a fun game.
And I love it. DGS Games, thank you for such a great opportunity. As before, there'll be a link in the description below before the player group for DGS on Facebook, as well as a link to the website. Thank you to GameMount.au for the terrain. Any other thoughts there, Irvin?
Nope. Other than that, we're excited. We're getting pretty heavy into the game. I already got a second army on the way to the commission. I'm playing the Falcarns. And I'm also got a few more demons model because they just released a demons faction as a playable faction.
I got some trillions, which are wood elves coming in.
Yeah.
And more models for my Traazorites. That's what we are. Yeah, but guys, also just so you know, there is a giveaway. Once we get to 5,000 subscribers, it's like 1,600 subscribers from now. Yep. We're shooting for the stars. We're gonna release another video soon. That's like a next video for that, so be tuned, stay tuned. We're going to add more prizes to that giveaway.
And you also can win a Freeblade starter faction.
Yeah, a Freeblade starter, the Black Rose Bandits.
Yep.
A whole faction shipped right to your door. But thank you guys for sticking around, and thank you guys for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you have any questions, please post them below. Keep on wargaming, guys.
Have a good night.